Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. I'm Dr. Babita Rohit, Associate Professor, Department of Business Administration and coordinator of today's webinar on Turnitin, a tool for anti-plagiarism, organized by Library and Learning Group and Research and Facilities Group, SJEC, in association with Turnitin through Video Consortium. Turnitin is an anti-plagiarism tool for detecting originality of the research work before its submission to the conferences, journals, theses, project reports, and the like. SJC through Video Consortium has subscribed for Turnitin anti-plagiarism software for the past 3 years, and the Central Library is providing software services for the stakeholders of SJC. The webinar outcomes are: 1, to create awareness about plagiarism and fair use of copyrighted work, and 2, to create a culture of academic integrity. To achieve these outcomes, I request the participants to interact with the speaker by posting your queries into the chat box, which will be taken up at the end of the session. I would like to welcome our esteemed speaker, Mr. Akshay Prasanna, Senior Consultant, Professional and Educational Services, South Asia, Turnitin, Bengaluru. He has a BE degree in Electronics and Communications Engineering with nearly 10 years of experience in education technology and SaaS. Mr. Akshay has held various roles in the education and publishing industries. In his current role, he works with eminent educational institutes across South Asia in the field of academic integrity and assessment-related training and development. On behalf of the management and organizing committee, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. I welcome Reverend Father Wilfred Prakash D'Souza, Director SJC, Reverend Father Rohit D'Costa, and Reverend Father Alvin D'Souza, Assistant Directors, Principal Dr. Rio D'Souza to this program. I welcome Dr. Prakash Pinto, Chairperson LLG, and Dr. Sandhya Das, Chairperson RFG to this program. I also welcome Dr. Felsi D'Souza, Librarian, and all the members of the LLG and RFG to this program. I also welcome all the participants to this webinar. Without much further ado, I invite Mr. Akshay Prasanna to begin the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I think I hope my screen is visible. Just one request to Dr. Babita and Dr. Felsi that one of my colleague Bhavi is trying to join. If she tries to join, please admit her as well. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. all the students and faculty would be here, I guess, for SJEC. Through V2 Consortium, we are giving Turnitin for all the end user access has been given. So today's session, I'll be talking about academic integrity, how you can avoid plagiarism. It's basically everyone thinks that when you use Turnitin software, the only thing that you would see is Turnitin plagiarism report. No tool in the world will give you plagiarism report. It gives you something called a similarity index report. So we're going to talk about it. If there is any question, I would like you to park the questions at the end or drop it in the chat box so we can take it up so that it doesn't intervene in our session in between. So today's agenda, I'll be talking about plagiarism, academic integrity, how it is going to affect your institution, how you can develop your institution by avoiding plagiarism. What are the expected similarities? When you run any report, what exactly is the similarity percentage that you would see? What gets highlighted? These things we will be able to interpret prior. So let's talk about it and understand the flow of plagiarism. That's also very important. So apart from this, towards academic integrity, how we can benefit ourselves, how we can work towards it and reduce the percentage, and lot of acceptance should happen. Basically, the rejection rate in journals and conference proceedings are high at the student level. So how do we increase it? How we can nurture ourselves? So that's very important. So let's understand that by when we analyze the similarity report and how it's going to benefit the students also. So when we talk about academic integrity defined, there are some 6 fundamental values that you have to very much concentrate on. The first and foremost thing that is very important is trust, honesty. Integrity matters, very important when you have the trust and honesty. If you are taking someone's content, acknowledge it. Without acknowledging it, you will not be able to identify. The responsibility lies between the students and the guide to acknowledge that I've taken this content from someone. The moment you don't do it, you are giving a fair path to the reviewer to claim under plagiarism or push it under plagiarism. So these are the 6 fundamental values that everyone should have with respect to academic integrity. So the best advice is to start early. Start your research early. Start checking your documents. There is no restriction in VTU consortium that you have to check only 10 documents or 20 documents or 50 documents, nothing like such. You can check any number of documents at whatever level. My request is, if you can start by chapter, it is really helpful. It is really going to help you a lot. So academic integrity journey is really important and you have to make use of it. And you can get it in different levels. So when you do this, you will be able to identify what is the cheating illustrations consequences and other things as well. So effective time management is really important to avoid plagiarism also, and research writing process. This is also a key thing for you. I think some annotations are switched on. If someone from IT is there and if you can turn it off, that would be great, I guess. Allow, and you can change it because people are writing on the page. You will not be able to find it easy. Anyway, these annotations, please try to avoid it. Plagiarism defined, if I speak about, according to Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, plagiarize means you're taking someone's content, you're stealing someone's content, ideas, thought, or something, and it will lead to plagiarism. The moment you don't acknowledge it, it is plagiarism. If you acknowledge, it's pretty much simple across. It's the similarity report which you're going to see. So acknowledgement plays vital role accordingly. Whenever you use someone else's source, start giving credit, citation, references, footnotes, whatever it might be. Acknowledgement is very important, and you will be committing to literary theft if you don't do it. Literacy theft is, I might use a lot of content, I might use written content, I might use some audio clips, whatever it is. There are a lot of various aspects. If I've taken someone's content who is not published anywhere, I need to still justify. Tomorrow someone should not claim me that this is my content. So how do we define it? How do you identify it? Plagiarism is defined in spectrum ways. 2.0 is, this is the latest one. So original thinking will not lead to plagiarism. Student collision will lead to plagiarism. Word to word, I'll copy from someone, I'll paste it, plagiarism. Self plagiarism. In India, if we are about to write theses, when we start our thesis work, we try to copy content from our previous publications. This is another key area. If according to UGC norms, wherever, if you're taking some content from your previous publication, you need to give self citation. The moment you don't do it, it will lead to self-plagiarism. Mosaic plagiarism, a lot of students are trying to do this in the latest trend. Mosaic plagiarism, in the sense copying content from Elsevier, Springer, Wiley, all collating together and trying to publish, will lead to mosaic plagiarism. There are a lot of other tools that is coming up in Turnitin, like code plagiarism is going to come up, manual text detection, all these things is going to come up shortly. So this is very important. To avoid plagiarism, manage your time and research. I just, I mean, there is some annotations. Let me reshare my screen. I don't want people to write on the screen because that is a little bit, okay, I think now it is fine. So manage your time from research very wisely. Start research strategies. Try to summarize, and wherever you paraphrase also, try to cite it. Paraphrasing, I cite it. It's a very good methodology if you're using paraphrase also, or quote the paraphrased content. Give the summary of it. Paraphrasing, in the sense, a lot of people have this misconception that I changed one single word, it will change the whole sentence. No, that is synonyms. If you're using thesaurus, Google or something to change single word, and if you think that that is going to change the whole thing, no, it's not going to happen that way. So paraphrasing should be the whole para which is rewritten in a different way. Use the Turnitin similarity report, learn to correct your mistakes, recheck it, and then try to publish. It is really helpful for you. The plagiarism affects for both institution and individual. If I'm an individual, if I don't check similarity, tomorrow anyone can sue me. Tomorrow I can be under literacy theft. Authentic learning is not there with this author. These are few things. I will not be able to enjoy my accomplishments, my PhD, or it might be my H factor, H index, whatever it is. I'll not be able to do it. For an institution, the reputation is under stake. More than the student name, institution name comes in picture. What happens, I'll tell you. If any students is plagiarized in IIT, they'll not tell that IIT student, I mean the student named Rahul, Akshay will not come in picture. The more the name that comes is IIT student was plagiarized. So for this reason, VTU came up with new idea to introduce plagiarism detection tools and avoiding tools or similarity index tools for VTU consortium, so that you can be aware of what you're writing, be secure what you're writing, and so that the environment is not broken in the institution. The moment plagiarism occurs, the whole institution name gets spoiled. That's the only reason behind it. So a lot of lawsuits are there. You should know what is VTU policy. You should know what is UGC policy, because all the theses, if it is going to VTU, there is different policy. I'll talk about it. If it is going to UGC, there is different policy. So what is it? 10% similarity acceptance rate, 25% similarity acceptance rate, excluding bibliographic materials or excluding quoted materials. All these norms should be known. So the moment you know it, your brand will be secure. VTU students have published this many very good articles. SGEC college students have published very good articles, which impact factor is so high, and they've done in very good journals. So lawsuits cannot come to you at any point of time for grievance or whatever it is. They will not be able to affect you. So I'm not going to run any quiz today because we want to cover the entire thing. Our rep crawler is something. Why Turnitin is used worldwide. IITs uses Turnitin, IISc uses Turnitin, DRDO, CSIR labs, ISRO labs. If you go to medical colleges, they use like AIMS, they all use Turnitin only. About 800 to 900 institutions in India are using this tool with effective measures, because 91 billion web pages of highly scholarly publications are crawled. It covers about 8 petabyte of data. No tool in the world will have this much content, which is of scholarly writing. We crawl under scholarly publishers, content, internet, and custom web pages also, which is like you can reposit your own content also. So these are very important. So when you check similarity, what are the expected similarities? What do you think that will show as highlight? What will show as similarity? What might get into plagiarism? One is quoted materials. Next is references and citations, common facts which cannot be rewritten. Like for example, the capital of India is Delhi, an apple a day keeps a doctor. These are common statements which cannot be rewritten. So that are expected similarities. And essay questions again, which is common for whole class, which will be shown as similarity. What factors is increased in text similarity, rigor task. So we should not have rigorous work at the end moment. You should have an original idea that is coming up, have an evidence, have a proofs that you have worked from scratch. That will really help you a lot. Have the sources quoted properly. Quoted materials where to use, I'll tell you when we use the live platform. The genre of writing is really important. It should tell you what exactly the arguments are, analysis are. That will give you right understanding, and short answer assessments also. So these are few things that is very important. If I talk about difference between plagiarism and text similarity, right side what you're seeing is the highlighted text, which will show in your report also. Lot of people come to me, tell me that Akshay, Apple is shown as similarity. How is this? This is a common word. Please understand, one word will never show a similarity. In never it will show a similarity. We have a string of 3 to 5 words. It should be in continuous. Only then it will show a similarity. When single word will get highlighted is when your student has copied that word and they've added some other words in between and they've continued the sentence. Then it will show a similarity. If you don't correct yourself, if you don't rewrite yourself, then it will lead to plagiarism. Okay, so you need to know about it. So presenting someone else's ideas, others knowledge without giving credit will lead to plagiarism, as I said earlier. So you need to have a brief understanding. Text similarity is something where ideas are used, words are used to present someone else's work. But I have worked more on that. I've worked elaborated work on that. Basically, I started the scratch with this, but I have more idea and thought process involved in this. That's plagiarism and text similarity difference. So these are expected ones. Okay, so when you talk about it, see on the right hand side, these are like copy pasted text which is showing a similarity. Essay question will always be copy pasted, it will show as highlight. Second one is citations. To a citation to be removed, you need to exclude bibliographic materials. Common facts will show a similarity. To avoid this, you can use quoted materials. It should be only in double quotes. And let me tell you, VTU excludes quoted materials, VTU excludes bibliographic materials, and the similarity acceptance rate is about 25%, I guess. And the word limit is 5 words. I'll talk about that word limit also. Something which you cannot paraphrase also. If it is showing highlighted, please, what you can do is you can cite it. So reference list also will show a similarity, but if you do exclude bibliography, that gets excluded. So these are the few things. And when you check in Turnitin, there are different color coding how it shows the reports. For example, you can see here, uh, blue color is 0%. It will show like this. 6% is in green color. 43% and above will be in yellow color. 58% and above in orange. 80% and above in red color. So this is the benchmark bracket. 0, 1 to 24, 25 to 49, 50 to 74, 75 to 100. So this is nothing to do in your report. This is for your understanding. So all the features are really helpful. A lot of people are using it. We are trying to introduce something called as Feedback Studio. If VTU is able to get that, you will be able to give feedback to your students on the tool itself. So if I talk about features, one is match overview. What is the similarity match it will give you? And you should be able to identify which might get into plagiarism, which is not. I'll show you that also. It will show you from all the sources where your text is matching. I might have written on my own, but there might be other authors who has already published in my subject area. You will be able to identify that. That is very important. And then what you don't want, how do you exclude it? For example, bibliography, quotes, how do you do it? We will show that filters are also there. So what should you do with all the information also? We will talk about it. So when you are evaluating similarity report, refine the matches very importantly. Have the narrow down, have the understanding, have the intent, what should show a similarity, what should not show, where you can rewrite it, where you can paraphrase it, that you should understand. So that's why I say that initially only you upload your document and have an understanding about it. That will be the best way. So let's put it into practice. I'll take you across the live platform. This will be a key thing to take you across and have an understanding about it. So let me take you to the live platform. So this is the website address, www.turnitin.com. This is the Turnitin website. Here in your institution, we have 3 types of login. One is administrator login, instructor login, student login. Administrator is one person in your institution. Now it is Felsi ma'am. Dr. Felsi will be able to give access to, that is library, chief librarian, library is going to handle it. They will give access to faculties. Faculty will give access to students. This is a chain process. However you want to do it, you can do it. So I'll tell you how you do it. So first is when you come on the homepage, you will be able to see a lot of academic integrity related uh, details will be there. You will be able to log in. The moment you log in, you will log in with your email ID and password. We don't create this. You will create the password. So the email address is this and the password is this. The moment you click on login, you will log into your home page. Right now, I'm on the student page, but I'll just show you a glimpse of administrator login. How does the administrator login? This is the administrator login. All that they will be able to do is they'll click on instructor, they'll add instructor, and they'll give instructor access by giving their first name, last name, and email ID. So all the faculty has to check their email. They would have got an email from Turnitin, no reply at turnitin.com. They will be able to create their password. The moment they create their password, they'll be able to log in with their email ID and password. That's a simple thing. And also librarian cannot see any of your documents. No one can see your documents, including us. Only it is between student and faculty. Like for example, guide and the student. That's all. So no one can see the documents. All that you have to do is first name, last name, and email ID, and they'll give an access. That's it. So Felsi ma'am will be able to see the statistics, how the institution is using it, what is the access, that's all. Rest all will lead under instructor tab, that is faculty tab. Faculty tabs are very, very important. This is the basic place where you are going to do everything. So first and foremost is you will not see anything like such. You will see empty page, empty document. You will not see single word from anyone. First and foremost thing is click on this green color add class. The moment you click on add class, you will be able to create a class for your student, I mean for your students. So what is the class name? Let's take it as SJEC ECE. Let me take its subject area as field theory, third year, 2020 batch, I mean 2021 22. This is my class. Why I'm trying to create class, though you check your articles, though you check your thesis, doesn't matter. Turnitin will allow you to run day-to-day assignments also. Right now with the pandemic in picture, everyone working from home, all the assignments can go through similarity checking, and also you can run your checks also. Anything that can be done remotely will work here. This has been introduced long back. Western countries have been using it. In India, they're adapting right now. So this is my class name because I might be handling third year class also, fourth year class also, first year MTech students, PhD also, or I might check my own documents also as a faculty. I can keep that name. Enrollment key is a password to the class. I'm right now giving simple one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The moment you do this, you can choose the subject area. Right now we are all in engineering. I'll keep it as engineering. Then you can choose what is the student level: grad, post grad, career and technical. Career and technical will lead at the student level, I mean at the faculty level. Grad and undergrad will be at the faculty level. So whichever you want, you can keep it accordingly. If your subject area is not reflecting here, like engineering is not reflecting and something else, you can choose others also. This is nothing to do with similarity percentage. This is to capture how the trend is going on in your institution. That's all. Start date we cannot change, but the end date, I will keep this end date till my students will be there. My students will be there till June 2022. So that's my end date, 30th June 2022. The moment I do this, I'll click on submit. My class gets created. Why I'm showing this, those students are there because students also should know how faculty is creating it. Faculty has to take this step initially at least. The moment I share this class ID and enrollment key with my students, like for example, let me copy this. If I share this class ID and enrollment key, I don't have to give access to student. They can enroll themselves. There is no issues at all. Now in this whole list, can you see SJECE, ECE, FT is showing. The moment I enter into this class, now I can create assignment. Let's take an example. Whoever is the faculty, it may be Dr. Babita who is handling a class. Dr. Babita wants to give an assignment for this month. She can click on add assignment tab and she can create an assignment. assignment for this month also, next month also, month later also. So complete analysis can be done accordingly here. So that's very, very, very important. Adding an assignment creation plays a vital role. So when I click on add assignment, I can do all the settings. So for example, if I want to add an assignment, I can click on add assignment. Click on add assignment, it is loading. Sorry, my internet is a little bit unstable. I think that's why it is struggling. I hope is my voice audible? There is no issues with my voice, I guess. You all can hear
Yeah,
me,
it's
right?
audible. It's audible,
Okay.
Akshay. You can carry
Okay.
on. Yeah.
Thanks, Babita. Once it gets load, let me give the assignment title. Let's take it as project for June 2021. This is my class FT. That's my field theory. I've kept it. I want to measure the students in the sense I can give 10 points, 20 points, 25 points. However points I want to measure the students, I can do it. But let me tell you, you don't have this feature right now. V2 is not subscribed for this, so you don't get this point value. You get start date, due date, and rest all things will be there. Start date is today at the same time. Due date, I want my students to submit my assignment before 30th of June. That's my due date. This is my understanding with my students. That's the thing. Here you have two options on the left hand side. Allow only file type the Turnitin can check similarity. This will allow the students to upload only the files that are precise, like standard files, like what you call as PDF files, Excel file, HTML files. Only these kind of standard files can be uploaded. Whereas if you want to upload latex or something like that, then you can choose allow any file type. This will allow any kind of file type that can be uploaded. The moment you do this, if you're a first time user, please ensure that you don't click on optional settings. Please keep in mind, you have to click on it. A lot of people, they'll skip this and they'll go to submit option. Please first time click on optional settings, do all the settings. What this optional settings will do is it also gives you a tab where you can do special instructions. For example, I want all the students to give APA format of citation only. I'm telling the students APA format of citation are accepted. Okay, and I want the abstract to be less than 500 words. So I'm telling the students to keep the abstract below 500 words. Like this, you can give any kind of instruction to your students. This is called as special instructions. You can give your questions, you can give your essay questions, whatever it is, you can give it accordingly over here. Allow submission after due date. If you say yes, you can give submission after due date also. I mean, you can take the submissions after due date, your student submissions. So that can also be done. Then there is similarity report. You should always say yes. If you say no, and then if you tell Akshay your tool is not working, we will have to check this because this settings is not right. This is clearly telling that you have to generate the similarity report. Okay, that is very important. The moment you say yes, only then the report gets generated. For faculty, there is one more key thing. That is, first report is final in the sense only one submission can happen. The second one is can overwrite until due date is there. The moment you say the second option, then the submission can have multiple times until the due date. This is a very good feature actually. So if I'm giving anything to my students, I want the students to check multiple number of times. Why? The reason is the students search check today, it showed 30% of similarity, but the acceptance is only 25%. So I want the student to resubmit and recheck, rework on it. So then I can choose the one more option. Then there is on due date, where the report gets generated only on the due date. We have given all the understanding on this tab. So whichever is suitable for you, you can choose it. Some faculty wants only one submission, they will choose the first option. So whichever is feasible, you can choose that. Next comes exclude bibliographic materials. The moment I choose exclude bibliographic materials, all my bibliographic content gets excluded. Let me tell you, this is a very good feature. VTU accepts it. Even UGC accepts it. What does this mean? When I say yes, the bibliographic materials gets excluded. Citations, references, work cited. We spoke so much about this in our presentation. This is very important. So when you do this, be careful about it. Then comes quoted materials. Again, a very good point here. Double quotes only. Single quotes will not work. Double quotes, that is double inverted commas. If you use this, whatever you have quoted in between double quotes will not be checked for similarity. For example, I'm using Newton's third law for checking similarity. Newton's third law is every action is equal and opposite reaction. So how do you give citation to it? You can't give citation to it, impossible. So you need to give a quoted material. Standard statements and definition comes under quoted materials. You can put double quotes there. So that's quoted material. If you say yes, quoted materials gets excluded. So whichever is feasible for you, you can do it accordingly. Then there is small sources. Every journal has different word limit. Every university has their own word limit. Some has 5 words, some has 7 words, some has 10 words. UGC has 14 words, VTU has 5 words. So whatever is the reviewer norms, you should keep that. What happens is some reviewer has kept 15 words, you are keeping 20 words. That doesn't work that way. If VTU is keeping 5 words, you also have to set 5 words. If not, your similarity score varies and you will think my paper gets accepted, but it doesn't get accepted because of this misunderstanding. So please keep this accordingly. Then if you want the students to also see the similarity report, you can select this as allow students to see similarity report. Only if you say yes, they will be able to see. Enable translated matching. The moment you say yes, translated matching can happen. What do you mean by translated matching? For example, if your students copies from Chinese, Japanese, French, Arabic, if they convert it to English, and if they give it as ma'am, this is my document, sir, this is my document, you will be able to identify that also. That's translated matching. We enable it for 40 international languages, no Indian languages right now. Apart from regional languages, everything else is available. Then comes anonymous marking. If you say yes, you will not be able to see the student name and you will be able to value it. You don't have this feature right now, you can ignore it. Submit papers to is there. There are 2 options for you. First one and the last one, standard paper repository and no repository. Always choose no repository. The moment you choose standard paper repository, your document gets saved in Turnitin Cloud. So if you check the same document again, it will show 100% similar. So when you have to put it in standard paper repository, once the thesis is given, the student is honored with PhD, only then, if the student publication has happened, then you can check with standard repository. But until then, always keep it as no repository. When you don't know it, please keep it no repository. This is the very important feature, and because that's why I asked you to come to optional settings. This is very important. Keep it no repository. Faculty only can do it. Then search options, everything should be selected. Online grading, you don't have it right now, but you have ETS e-rater, which checks grammatic mistakes. If I say yes, all the grammatic mistakes can also be checked. It will tell you where the grammatic mistakes are there, where you can correct, which you can correct, which you can rewrite. That can be done with ETS e-rater. If you say yes, all the grammatic mistakes can be checked accordingly. Here, I choose both US and UK dictionary because we are non-English speaking countries. Sometimes what happens, we might use US, sometimes we might use UK. So I use both the dictionaries. Spelling will be default deselected. Select this option so that spell check can also happen. The moment you do all these settings, you can choose this option. Would like to have the same settings for my future assignments, and then they click on submit option. Your assignment is created now. This is the basic thing you have to do as a faculty. Create class, create assignment. It will take 2 to 3 minutes. I took so much time because I had to explain you what is happening here. So please create this very precisely. Now what you can do is you can give access to students to submit. In here, there is below Turnitin logo, there is students tab here. The moment you click on student, you can click on add student. You can give first name of the student. So if I give like this, and I give student ID, I can add student accordingly. Simple. This is one student at a time. If you want to do multiple students in one go, the whole class to be added, upload student list is there, click on it. You all will be having what students are there in your class. Excel sheet will be there. Column A is first name, column B last name, column C email ID. Copy and paste and upload it. Upload the whole file. Every student in your class will get an access. This is very useful. This is very useful, and it's the best feature that you can make use of it. So this is one way you can upload the whole class list also. Okay, then I don't want to discuss about these things. This is how you give student access. Now let me tell you how student will enroll. One is student tab. Let me take an example. Your student doesn't have access to Turnitin at all. First time they're going to use, they'll go to turnitin.com. Oh, sorry. Just let me go to www.turnitin.com. Okay. First time, if the student, you don't have to create login also for your students. Just come here. The student will click on login. You have given class ID and enrollment key. So the student will click on new user. They'll click on student. You have given the class ID, they'll copy and paste it here. You have given the enrollment key, they'll paste it here. And they'll give the first name, last name, their email ID, and they'll register themselves. In fact, let's take Babita ma'am is giving this assignment, but Felsi ma'am has already given access to students. So what they will do is they'll click on enroll in a class. Before that, you see here, there is no SJEC. In this whole list, there is no SJEC. The student will click on enroll in a class. They'll give the class ID given by the faculty. They will give the enrollment key. They'll click on submit. Students, I'm there in students tab. Now you see SJCEC, whatever class is created by Ms. Babita will be reflecting here. That assignment title is also there. They'll go to info. Madam said that APA format of citations are accepted. Abstract to be less than 500 words. So student will understand that. Now they'll click on submit. They cannot change their names. So student cannot upload their friend's document. For example, I cannot upload my friend's document by changing the name. I can only upload my document. I'll give it as test. I can do single file upload, or I can do cut and paste. Or I can choose from computer or from Dropbox or from Google Drive. I'll choose from computer right now. Let me take one document, which will be easier to run a report. One second. Advanced studies. Okay, got it. So I've taken a document. I'll click on upload. The moment I click on upload, the document is getting uploaded. When you upload, it will tell you how many characters are there, how many words are there, how many pages are there in this document. The moment you click on confirm, it gets confirmed. Once it gets confirmed, you can go to assignment inbox. It will take you to this inbox, and the student can also see the similarity report after some time. You will be able to resubmit and recheck, or also click on view. So whatever you want to do it, you can do it accordingly. This is very feasible thing for you. Okay. Now, how do faculty see what students have submitted? Faculty will go to their account whenever they log in. You can see SJEC EC is there. The moment you click on it, you will be able to see view option here. Faculty will click on it, see that the student has submitted, and it will show the similarities report in while. Whereas if the faculty wants to submit on behalf of the student, they can also do it. They can click on submit file. They can give the first name of the faculty student, last name of the student, and they will give test 2. And they can also choose from computer, Dropbox, or Google Drive. Here, there's one more option for the faculty is they can do single file, multiple file, cut and paste, zip file. All these options are there. I'll choose from computer. Let me take another file. Okay, I'll take this file, I'll upload it, I'll click on upload. The moment I click on upload, it will tell me how much page counts are there, how many word counts are there, how many characters are there. I'll click on confirm. The moment I confirm, it will tell me whether I want to go to an assignment inbox or should I submit another file. Right now, I don't want to do it. I have submitted. So faculty has an option to submit also. Faculty can create their own class, their own assignment. For example, if I'm a faculty in SGEC, I'm doing some research, I'll create my class as my research, my assignment, and I can check my documents. A lot of PhD scholars are there like that. So you can make use of it. Within few minutes, you will be able to see the similarity percentage here. Sometimes if I refresh also, I'll get it, but it is taking some time. It will take some time because we are on Zoom call and other things. So I'll not waste time. I'll take you to some other assignment where all my documents are already submitted. I'll show you how the report will look like. So let me click on view. We should analyze how the report looks like. That's also very important. See here, 0% is also there. Happens 0%, very rare cases you will be able to find some students who get 0% similarity. That's very important. Then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, and color coding is there. You can take any document. Okay. So if I take any article, if I click on that percentage, it will open the report for me. Right now it is opening on Feedback Studio because I have Feedback Studio. The tool that you have is Turnitin Originality Check. Okay, so here it is. Here is the document. So the moment I see this, the first and foremost thing that I have to see is whether there is any flags. What does flags say for the faculty is whether the student has copied, whether their student has replicated any word, have they hidden some text, it will show. That is flag section, where the similarity percentage is 21%. Now, if I click the first one, see the student, let's take an example. This is my article. I didn't copy single word from anyone, but it is showing 21% of similarity. My UGC says only 10%. I cannot publish this. So I'll read this. Okay, someone else has already published this text. I cannot take it. So now what I'll do is I'll tap again. I'll see the full text. This tab will come in, and when I click on full text view, the full text of that other person who has written the same text like me is showing here. Can you see here? Currently sentiment analysis, currently sentiment analysis, ditto. It's not that it is copied. It might be a chance where the student wrote something, but it is matching with someone else. Like this, you will be able to find out each and everything. So this pink is matching with this pink, this red is matching with this red. So when you click on blue, it was taking with this blue. So like this, it will tell you from which source you have taken the text and what is the text that is matching. You will be able to find out each and everything accordingly. First, you try to identify that. Before that, click on filter and see whether you have done the right settings. If we remove everything, let me show you this. I don't do any filter. I'll click on apply changes. From 21, did it increase? Sometimes it increases. Yes, 27. So filters are very important. If I use V2 norms, 5 words, excluding bibliography, excluding quotes, and apply change, 23%. If I use 14 words, 21%. So your filters plays vital role also. So please have an idea about it. Then if you want to exclude manually, faculty has this option. What happens in some cases is student has given citation, but the text will also be shown as highlighted. For this case only, this text is shown as highlighted, but my student has given citation to it. I want to remove it as a guide. What I do is I'll click on exclude source and I'll remove it manually. Only faculty can do it, students cannot do it. Please, I mean, one more understanding here is faculty should only remove if there is any authentication in this. If there is any clarity about it, only then it can be done. Then filter, we have spoken about it however you want. Instead of 5 words, can I use 5%? No, never. What is defined, only then that can be used. Okay. Then if you have blocked some sources, it will show you. Then you can come to ETS e-rater. It will tell you if there is any grammatic mistakes. You can see here SP in the sense there is spelling error. See, practical applications, there is no space only over here. So that's why it is telling there is an error. If you want to do any changes, you can do it. If you don't want to do any changes, you can ignore it. Here also analysis is misspelled. Okay, so that's why it is showing SP error. So this is all grammatic check, which is called as ETS e-rater. You don't have this blue color icons in the software. The reason behind this is because of feedback mechanism. If someone had feedback mechanism, they would drag and drop and tell the comments to the faculty students also. For example, like this text, like I'll type here, need to give extra space here. So I'm telling the student to give this accordingly. So the software will allow you to give comments then and there. A lot of faculty gave this feedback because we wanted to give feedback then and there. That's what it is going to give you here. So whenever you want to do it, you can do it accordingly over here. All right. But right now you don't have these options. There is voice comments also. There is rubrics to measure the students also, but you don't have it right now with PTU Consortium. But a lot of other students have, a lot of other institutions have. Can you download this report? Yes, you can download it in 3 ways. One is current view report, which I recommend all the time. Current view report will give you in detail report. What is the title? What is the author name? What is the percentage of similarity? What filters have you used? Everything in detail will be there. If you don't use current view report, there is something called as digital receipt, which will give you 1-page document only, which will not give you any percentage or anything. It will give you author name, document title, that's all. I'll show you both the reports, how it looks, because a lot of people were worried about how do you use this report offline. For that reason, I'm doing this. There is one more important, that is original submitted file. Sometimes faculty wants to check what document the student has submitted. So you can do original submitted file also. Last but not the least, there's one more way you can download text only report. Some institutions, they need Turnitin branding in the report. They use HTML report like this. It will show Turnitin originality report. You can download this at any point of time. It will give you, but this is not user friendly. Okay. This is how it looks like this. It will be there. No space, nothing. Digital receipt will look like this, one page document. That's it, one page. Who is the author, what is the document title, first page of the document it will show. That's all. Okay. Whereas current view report will look like this: document title, who is the author. When you scroll down, you will be able to see all the color codes, all the feedbacks, spelling errors and everything. Please note, the more colorful it looks, the more you have copied. The less colorful it looks, you have pretty safe. It will show you similarity report, from which sources you have taken, internet, publication, student paper. Combiningly, the uniqueness of the text will be shown as 23%. If 16%, 7, 18% are there. So if I collate everything, it will be more than this. But uniqueness, what is there in internet might be there in publication. What is there in publication might be there in student papers. So uniqueness of this is shown. So when you scroll down, you will also be able to see filters. Exclude quotes, yes we did. Exclude bibliography, yes we did. Matches 5 words. So this is an indication for the student also and for the reviewer also. Okay, this is done accordingly. Grammatic mistakes, it will show here. Page 1, what are the mistakes? Page 2, what are the mistakes? Page 3, accordingly. Do not hesitate to download any number of times. You can use it any number of times. Okay, so this is the place where you have to look out. See, please be aware when you do any report analysis. Don't go based on the text. So for example, sometimes this one word only, let's take it. Okay, let me show you something. Okay, this name public is shown as highlighted. Always people will tell Akshay, public is highlighted. This is common terminology. Then why don't you tell me YouTube comments? All this should have also get highlighted. It will only take if you have copied that text and if you have replaced. See this, SEO and being. This is replaced word. This is replaced word. These are all replaced word. So synonyms changing like here will also get highlighted. So always be careful that you should be precise with the text, what you're writing, and also paraphrasing. It should be the whole sentence. It cannot be one word you change and the whole sentence will not show highlighted. That cannot happen. And faculty should be very careful that if students are trying to use some flags, I'll show you how it looks also. So these are the things that you can do. There is one more thing, how important it is let me show you how flags basically work. Let me go to home page. There is one report I'll show you. Those students are there, no need to hesitate. I mean, I'm showing it in upfront because students should also be know that I'll be caught if I try to do something. There is something called as Arvind PDF, which is showing 2%. There is Arvind Word, which is showing 87% of similarity. Okay, the moment I open this report, 87%, look at this document. Chapter 1, introduction, project description, wireless sensor network, blah, blah, blah. It is there. 87% of similarity. Let me show you Arvind PDF. Okay, 2% of similarity. When I click on this, see the text. Chapter 1, introduction, project description, wireless sensor, same, ditto, no changes. But here we are giving flags. The moment I click on flags, it is showing there is something called as hidden text. Always look for it. The moment I click on it, it will show you all the hidden text the student is trying to implement. So just to avoid plagiarism, students are trying to do this, but they don't know faculty is aware about it. Faculty will be able to catch us. See, this student has added I in every word, starting, ending, starting, ending. In which word we have a word called I sensor, I network, I? No, because it is literature to literature matching, it doesn't give any meaning. Students have tried to do this, but faculty can get it. In this whole document, 10,000 suspect characters were found. Like this, you will be able to identify replaced characters also. O instead of 0, 0 instead of O also. So you will be able to identify all those things. So always have an eye. We also give caution sign like this. When you move your cursor here, it will tell you, Turnitin has flagged this paper for having unusual word patterns, which is interfering normal match detection. Please have a look at it. But not all the time it is the same. Sometimes if the student has used more bibliographic contents, more citations, then also we give you caution sign. Quoted materials more than 30%, if it is there, we will give you. Bibliography more than 15% of the text, what is there in the document, then we will give you. So you get complete understanding with this document, both at faculty level and student level. Student first should do the groundwork. Faculty can review and give their comments and suggestions and anything to improvise. So that's the process. That's why we create class, create assignment, allow students to submit, and the whole process will go that way. So these are the things that you can do it. By mistake, any of your documents have gone to standard repository. All that you have to do is give this paper ID to Felsi ma'am. Felsi ma'am will send an email to our support team and it will get deleted. But for this paper ID, if you have checked 3 times, you have to give 3 paper IDs. If you have checked 5 times, you have to give 5 paper IDs. Do not select it and delete it and think that, okay, my paper is deleted. It will delete only from your account, not from Turnitin Cloud. If you have to get that deleted, you need to give this complete document. Okay, so apart from this, there are library sections which you can see here. There are a lot of things that you can look at, but you will not have all these things in you because you have limited access. Discussion tab, of course, it's there. You can post new topic and start discussing with your faculty or depending. Preferences tab will help you to enable the preferences accordingly. So these are the things that you can do it. These are the things that you can enable. These are the things that will really help you a lot for using any kind of documents. Analyzing the report plays vital role. There is help section for getting an analysis. On the right hand side top of the page, there is help section. The moment you come on this page, you will be able to get onto the help section. Here there is something called a Turnitin website. The moment you go here, if you're an administrator, click on here. If you're an instructor, you click on here. If you're a student, you click on here. The moment you go here, you have a lot of user guides that will help you each and every step, how you're going to use it, how you're going to filter it, what you're supposed to do. Still, if there is any questions, you will always be welcome to ask me or my team. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer also at any point. If you don't know something, you can search here. What does bibliography means here? So let me give bibliography here. And when I click on search, it will tell me what are the bibliographic materials and Turnitin means. What does it get excluded? All these things it will tell you accordingly. So you can go here. It will tell you all those things. See, quoted materials in the sense only supported are these marks. Single quotes are unsupported marks. Clear cut understanding. See, so you have a brief understanding. So now I'll open the forum for any kind of question and answers. If you have any questions, please open up. We will take all the Q&A, and also I'll share my email ID and you can have the recording. I'll share the user guides also. If you can, feel free to reach us at any point of time. If someone is using quick submit, please ensure that if this is not enabled, it's okay. If it is enabled, if you're using quick submit, you need to use submit option and you have to use all the search boxes, select everything. And then here the default is standard repository, change it to no repository and submit. That is quick submit, but I don't recommend quick submit all the time. Have an eye about it. All right, let me jump into chat. How many words I should be able to exclude by Turnitin plagiarism checker? Geeta, Miss Geeta, it's all about how many is recommended by your university or how much is reviewer. Basically, if you're doing an article publication, what is the journal review? See, every journal has something called as publication recommender. If you give your abstract there, it will tell you which journal to publish, which conference to publish, which ebook to publish, because there are a lot of journals. If you do a wrong selection of journal also, it gets rejected. So you need to have an understanding about it. So when you do that, you will know what is the word count limit. So based on that, you will be able to do it accordingly. Can a student of SJEC use this tool without being a part of any class by an instructor? No. Sorry, you have to be a part of it. Without that, you cannot do it. At least you have to approach your library for getting it an access. Under one assignment, does repeated assignment similarity report generate quickly? Of course, it will. Now, if you, Ms. Pratima, if I have to show this, what we created, by now the report would have got generated, I guess, hopefully. SJEC is what we created. When I click on view, now you see both the reports are generated. So hardly 5-10 minutes maximum, depending on your internet speed, you will be able to see the report. My pleasure, Geeta. Any other questions, anything else that you want to discuss? I know there will be a lot of confusion. If there is anything that has to be re-explained, please feel free to ask. I'll be happy to explain again.
I request the participants to please post your queries.
Or if they
Yeah,
want.
hello, Akshay sir. This is Dr. Sandhya Das.
Yes, Dr. Sandhya.
Recently, I had downloaded the report.
Yes.
I'm not able to find any, what is that, ETS
E-rater.
specifications.
Okay, so ETS E-rater, if when you create your class, when you go to your assignment, go to more actions, you can click on edit settings. Here, go to optional settings. Then you have to enable this ETS E-rater. If it is no, you will not be able to see in the report. If you say yes, only then you will be able to see in the report.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure, ma'am. Any other questions?
Yeah, there are some more questions in the chat box.
Okay, just let me go there. Okay, when I submit my papers for checking, the second time my paper showed 98%. If I clock on no repository, will it be avoided? Of course, you should do that. You should do that. But right now your document is already there in cloud. You have to get it removed. So whatever documents you have checked, do not delete it. Take all the paper IDs, which is shown here on the left hand side like this paper ID, give it to Dr. Felsi. Dr. Felsi will send an email to our support team and we can get it deleted. That visibility is there. And then you can recheck, it will come back to your previous. But before checking, please keep it as no repository. How can we reduce plagiarism as minimum as possible? Nice question, actually. See, everyone have their own style of writing. There are a lot of people across the globe who are like scientists level. So I've seen a couple of them who don't even check similarity. But when we check their similarity, it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, because they're confident on their way of writing. See, 1 plus 1 is 2. I mean, 1 plus 5 is 6. But there are people who says 3 plus 3 is also 6. There are people who says 4 plus 2 is also 6. There are people who will say 5 plus 1 is also 6. But it depends on how you write the document. Okay, how you write a document, that's how the similarity percentage. Basically, you cannot reduce plagiarism. You can reduce the similarity percentage below the acceptance rate. Plagiarism, reviewer will define based on your similarity score. If your similarity score is behind the PAR score, then you will be plagiarized. So UGC norm says this: if 10% in the sense it get accepted, above 10%, up to 40%, 6 months of suspension, 40 to 66 months of suspension plus fine, or 1 year of suspension plus fine. Then if it is crosses 60%, you lose the registration only of your PhD. So there are a lot of lawsuits with related to that. So reducing plagiarism, it all depends how you are writing, how you see. Don't copy someone's and think that I'll rewrite in different way, I'll just change the sentence, active to passive, passive to active. No, that's not the thing. If I'm writing it in a different way, it is my research, it's my groundwork. Of course, plagiarism will not be an issue at all. So you need to do from scratch only then. Until unless you do that, you'll not be able to get it. Okay, Ms. Pratim, one observation is under one particular assignment. My fourth submission does not show similarity report. How is it possible? If still there is no report getting generated, take a screenshot of it, or if you have a paper ID, mention that, or class ID, mention that, and send an email to Dr. Felsi and she can forward to TIIsupport@turnitin.com. I'll share the email IDs, or you can send an email to TII support. We will let you know what is the technical issue behind this. If it is okay, technicalities, it should not cross more than 800 pages. It should not cross more than 100 MB, and raw text should be below 2 MB. That is the technicalities, and it should be in PDF, Word, Excel, these formats, PowerPoint, basically. It should not be any other formats. LaTeX, it can be, but there might be some glitch. So you can share an email, we will let you know about it. What is the issue? Similarity index shown in common notations. There is no relation between my paper and other papers shown in the report. How do we avoid this? I mean, this is pretty surprising for me. Similarity index is shown, but common notations, there is no relation between your paper and other papers shown in the report. Can you elaborate this if you can, Salma? I'm not able to get this question. If you can little bit elaborate with an example, that will be easier for me to answer. In the meanwhile, if there is any.
Yeah, I think we can.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So actually, some notations, as in mathematics, there are like determinant. So we write DET. So and then there are the expansions of my notations were shown in the similarity index.
Just that
so how
word?
is it possible?
Just that
Yeah,
word?
yeah. Just there, if I just click on that report and see the paper which was shown in the report, there was absolutely no connection between my report, my paper, and that paper.
Okay.
But only the notations were being shown as the.
Did you check how much percentage it was? The notation?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that was just like 1% and 1%, that way.
Absolutely.
So totally it added up to 21%. But the paper
okay, just that
guidelines.
1% added to 21%.
No. There were many papers with
Okay.
like they were showing in each one. They were with different colors,
Yes.
and they said these notations have been the same.
Okay.
So how is it possible?
So when you open any document, for example, let me open this Chaitanya text. Whenever you see an highlight, you will see a numeric about that. You have done that. I mean, really good about it. So when you see the source 7, go to source 7 and see what is the percentage. Okay. If it is less than 1, I don't think so you need to worry about it, because see, 31%, 16 plus 4 is 20, 23, 25, 27, 28, 29% out of this 31 is with this high numbers. But less than 1% is also there. That notations will be less than 1%, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. But still, if it is collatingly, if it is going more the high number, please let us know. I'll have a cross check what exactly is the issue behind it. I hope I've answered that, Ms. Salma. If not, you let me know. I can take a screenshot and send me an email.
Yes,
I'll look into it,
sir.
what exactly can be done for that.
Yeah, there's one more query there.
I'm not working under VTU, but I'm a research scholar in VT. How will I get an access? See, we don't give individual access at all. Swanja, we don't give individual access. All the access comes through institution itself. Either it is DRDO, ISRO, VTU, independent SJEC. Individually also they had access earlier. Before VTU consortium, independently you had bought. That shows the level, that shows the quality work that is happening in SJEC and IT Surat Curve. So these people, Manipal has the best licenses. Every end user, all the assignments come through Turnitin like that. So if you don't have access, you need to approach what institution you are affiliated under. They will be able to provide it. I don't know which is VT or VIT. I know. I don't know what is VT. Sorry for that. Any other questions? Okay, VTU only. All right. Okay. So if you are affiliated to VTU only, then you can approach. See, VTU regional centers also has access. So any institution, we have only given it to PG colleges because that's what VTU asked for. So only PG colleges has it. UG colleges doesn't have access to Turnitin. That's one more thing. Yeah. All right. Any more questions? Anything else?
Hello,
Ma'am
sir.
has addressed all the concerns. Yeah, she does. She always helps me also in checking all these things. If there's anything, yeah, I'll help her also any point of time. I think last time we did a session in your institution when there was VTU program. We did that. Apart from that, after that, we have not done any live sessions because of pandemic. I'm a student of SJEC and I'm new to this tool. Who do I approach to get access to? If you're a student, please approach your faculty, Rudolph. So that will be the right person, your faculty, your guide. They will be the right people to address it. If still not, you can write to Felsi ma'am. I'm sorry, Felsi ma'am, you were trying to answer, I guess.
Yes, sir. I have one question
Yes,
on
Felsi ma'am.
administrative wise.
Yeah.
In my previous, in your previous session also, I have reminded you and given one suggestions. Sir,
ma'am.
like in administrator, can you please provide one facility to search the instructors, sir?
Ma'am, we're working on it. Ma'am, because this is a global tool, 18,000 to 22,000 institutions are using it. We are working on it. I'm not sure when it will, but we are trying to do it. We are doing two things for you. One is deletion. You don't have to send us. You can only delete as an administrator, looking at the background of the student. That will come soon. And also searching the instructor. We are trying to do it the moment it comes. I mean, that's a great feedback. I'll let you know about it, ma'am.
Yeah,
It takes
sir.
some time,
Look
ma'am.
at-
Sorry for that.
Yeah.
I know it's tough for you, but yeah,
To
we will
search,
try to work on it.
200 to 300
It's I
instructors.
agree. I agree. I
And whenever they expire or whatever, they give me
Yes.
the
I
complaints.
know.
So to search for that, it's a very long time. It
I
takes
totally
me.
agree, ma'am. I totally agree. I'm so sorry for that. We are working on it. We will get it, ma'am. We'll get it sometime down the lane for sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure, ma'am. All right. If there is no other questions, let me share my team. This is my team, whole team, who works for South Asia PES. And also this is my mail ID. This is my support mail ID. This is my QR code to share feedback. Anyhow, post the session. I'll share all my details with the user guides and everything to you guys. You can have a look at it also. So any questions, please feel free to ask by email. That would be a best option. I might not answer your calls. You might curse me. Better you write me an email. I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, thank you, Akshay. That was indeed a very fruitful session, and you have answered the queries of the participants. I now invite Dr. Felsi D'Souza, librarian, to propose a vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Good evening, everyone. I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Akshay Prasanna for readily accepting our request to be the speaker of this program and being here and delivering an informative session and clearing all the doubts of our stakeholders. On behalf of the management and the organizing committee, I thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving this opportunity. I thank everyone in SGC, including Felsi ma'am. Special thanks to you and Ms. Babita also, Dr. Babita also, because taking a step ahead and giving this opportunity. On behalf of Turnitin, we thank you. Please stay safe. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
I
everyone.
thank the management. Yes, sir. I thank the management of SGC for motivating us to organize this webinar. Our gratitude goes to Dr. Rio D'Souza, Principal SGC, for his support for this training program. I thank Dr. Prakash Pinto, Chairperson of Library and Learning Group, and Dr. Sandhya Das, Chairperson of their valuable advice and motivation in organizing this program. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. I thank Dr. Babita Rohit, Associate Professor of Department of Management and Business Administration, for motivating this webinar. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Stay
Thank you.
safe. Thank you.
My thanks to all the members of LLG and RFG for their support. I thank Ms. Jacinta and Mr. Ragesh Raju for the technical support. Thanks to all the participants for attending this session and for your active interaction. With this, we have come to the end of the session. The feedback link is shared in the chat box. Please give your valuable feedback for our future improvement. Thank you, one and all. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Akshay.
Thank you so much.
Akshay, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Babita madam.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you, Prakash Pinto, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. It was very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.